1, 2, 3, 4.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Ladies and gentlemen.
That's right, the big dick is here. Get ready. May we start?
What is going on, y'all? Welcome back to another Tasty Tuesdays Talk. I'm Zbrah, and today I got another lovely guest, Miss Love Bailey.
Hi.
Hi.
It's showtime.
Showtime, baby.
Yeah.
How we doing?
Moist.
Very moist.
Yeah. Hydration.
Well, I mean, it is a cloudy day right now.
It is. It was raining earlier.
Where?
On the Savage Ranch.
Oh, Savage Ranch.
There's no place like home.
Is that where you came from?
Temecula, California. Yeah.
Temecula.
Well, it's actually Temecula, but you know, I colonized it as such.
The whole town?
The whole town is now trans friendly.
Trans friendly.
They don't know it yet, but
Oh, they may know it.
we're working on it real hard.
So how are we doing?
Horny.
Horny. Yes, this horny talk has been long in the waiting.
Yes, it has.
You've been cock teasing. Cock teasing for a very long
For a
time.
very long time. You're going to get the full fantasy tonight.
We're going to get a full fantasy.
Yes, absolutely.
Can you give us a preview?
Here, right here.
Oh, flexible.
You know, I've been driving a car for 2 hours, so I have to stretch my pussy out sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
It's very serious business.
Mm.
Yeah.
So it's very tight.
It's very tight.
That's all. That is what we all want to hear.
Yes.
Definitely.
We love a tight hole.
Yeah. Guess it depends who you are.
I guess.
Yeah.
What are we talking about again?
Tight holes.
Oh, we're here to talk about music. That's
Yeah,
right.
we're here to talk about Love Bailey and
Yes.
what Love Bailey is up to. But first, let's give an introduction to Love Bailey.
Yes. Go for it.
I'll let you do it.
If I have to introduce myself?
Yeah, that's the best introduction. Like I could.
Yeah, you go for it, and then I'll pick up where you left off. I want to hear your interpretation of who Love Bailey is.
Love Bailey is a multi-talented, faceted artist. Very creative, very visionary, unique, eclectic. What more can I say? But
Thank
you give the best description.
Yes.
You do all sorts of projects,
Yes.
music, design.
Yes.
There's a whole list. So
Let's go. Yeah. We'll start from the top. I started as a
Top or the
dancer. Well, I'll be the top, you be the bottom.
just for today.
Just for today.
Okay.
So I started as a dancer. I danced ballet, jazz, tap. I danced with Fiona Apple, Britney Spears, did that whole thing. And at some point I was like, I need to explore my identity. I love fashion. Let me just slather up some fashion. And then I became a stylist. I dressed the looks of Naomi Campbell, Lady Gaga, Azalea Banks' 1991 album cover. I did that. Nicki Minaj, Rihanna. I did a whole slew of fantasy tastemakers and icons. And at some point I was like, I am kind of living vicariously through these people that really at the core don't give a shit about me. And as much as I love them and I love to dress them up and it's fun, it's the fantasy, but a lot of these people, for whatever reason, aren't loyal. It's an industry. Everyone's out for themselves. It's the hustling industry. And my art is so close to my heart. You know, it's like my inner child. Everyone has it, whether they claim they are an artist or not. Everyone has a connection to that source. And I wanted to go deeper. So I started my journey to my transformation and became the fierce scarlet woman that I am today. I'm a proud trans woman. And from then I explored music. I explored all the other facets of my creativity. And I birthed this place called the Savage Ranch. And it's an artist sanctuary, an animal rescue. We have horses, pigs, chickens, lesbians. And I house wild artists that want to come out and create and, explore their gender, their identity free from discrimination, racism, homophobia, transphobia, all the injustices of the world. They can come here and create and just be.
So how long were you your stylist for?
Whoa. God, how many years? Like 5 years, I would want to say. Yeah.
And how old are you?
I was about 21, fresh.
So you just got into it a really young age.
Young age.
Is that normal?
Yeah.
Like for someone as your young age to do that?
No, you really have to like
work your way up the ladder?
Work your way up and be an assistant for many years. And I just like grab life by the balls with any situation, and I figure it out, and I'm really scrappy. And I was sleeping on couches. Like it wasn't, financially the fantasy, but I was doing major things. But at some point, like, you can't take your tear sheet of Naomi Campbell to a grocery store and feed yourself. So at some point it becomes a little like soul sucking, because you're like, wow, I'm working with Cartier. I'm working with these diamonds that cost more than, my entire existence. But yet, here I go home lonely with no food on the table. Like it's just, it's weird. It's a weird dichotomy. You're like constantly surrounded around wealth, but you yourself like can't even afford to feed yourself. It's so strange, but such is capitalism.
Yeah, so it mostly goes to the talent and the photographer, or right? Or not even the photographer sometimes, right?
The photographer owns all the rights to the image. There's no rights for creatives. So the industry is backwards, and the system favors the image maker. And so a photographer can steal your likeness, steal your image, and they can sell your image for thousands of dollars, but they don't have to pay you a cent because they own the rights to the image.
Yeah, because you sign it off. Usually.
Even if you don't.
Even if you don't.
Okay. I've had situations where photographers have come to my ranch, shot our entire community, and then sold the images for tens of thousands of dollars at Art Basel and didn't give me a cent or a print. I didn't even get a thank you or a print or some flowers. And it's...
Wow.
That's why I had to remove myself a little bit and be like, okay, let me just like focus on me for a second, because these people are like vampires out here. They really are.
Everybody, money, greed. I mean, they don't think anything but themselves, pretty much. But when did you realize, were you creating art for yourself, or were you just working for other people? Were you doing side projects then?
Yeah, I mean, at some point I started to do side projects where I started to explore my identity and dress up, and I wanted to put myself in the image. And that was shunned against. Like I was constantly told by agents to stop wearing the clothes, stop being in the images. You're too loud, you're too flamboyant, tone it down. I was always told that.
Just like do your role and
shut up and like
you
bring the rack of clothes and shut the fuck up. So that was also part of it. And then I ran into Marilyn Manson, and we all know, I don't know if you read that, but what happened?
Yeah, I read that.
So then I ran into Marilyn Manson, and then he pulled a gun to my head and said, I don't like faggots, as he pulled the trigger. And it was sort of a pivotal moment of me deciding that like, this is not where I need to be. Like when love is no longer being served, you need to learn to get up and walk away. And I did. So
that was the pivoting point right there, or near the end of it?
It was near the end of it. It was near the end of it. And it took me a little bit to come out because, there's so many feathers that you don't want to ruffle, and you don't get it blacklisted in the industry. And like, I was really young. And so, I deal with trauma a lot differently than some people. But nonetheless, like that's how I chose to sort of leave the situation and sort of claim my truth and honesty with that situation, is how I've empowered myself to tell my story and help others come forward as well, and to move on from that situation.
So what was the first step into the Love Bailey transformation? Just stepping away from working for other people.
Stepping away from working with toxic people and being surrounded around assholes. Reclaiming my truth, reclaiming my voice, using my voice for good. At some point when I was like dressing monsters, like when you work with monsters, you eventually become one. And I saw myself becoming that toxic person that I no longer wanted to be. And so I like stood up and walked away and never looked back.
And then what was your first steps to like saying, finding your real true self?
I had this hot transsexual woman by the name of Yasmin Petty, and she jabbed me with a needle of estrogen, and then my titty started growing. It was the best decision I ever made.
That was the first point?
Yeah, that was the first needle prick.
I mean, sometimes that's what you need.
Yeah.
Right?
You need your sister to be like, shut the fuck up, you're taking it. You know?
And you were hesitant?
I was hesitant. You know, it's medically transitioning has its own thing, and the medical system hasn't evolved enough for trans people and trans patients. So it is very scary to just like blindly go into it. But, you know, if you want something so bad, you kind of have to take that risk and to make that declaration to yourself.
Yeah. And you're happy?
Yeah, I'm happy. I'm confident. I mean, I'm so blessed that Obamacare healthcare has paid for all my surgeries. I've had hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of surgeries, and I haven't had to pay a dime.
Wow.
And I'm so thankful and blessed for that. But that's why I'm advocating for that, because they're trying to take away trans medical rights, and there's all these anti-trans bills being passed in legislation. So it's important for people like me who have transitioned, who have used the system to my benefit, to speak out against it, because I want, you know, the youth of tomorrow to be able to have the same sort of rights and opportunities that I have had. And it's hard. It's hard.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Not literally hard.
I mean, I'll get you hard if that's what you want.
After the show.
Yeah.
So this transformation began. Did you know where you wanted to go, what route you want to take? And obviously you loved fashion and whatnot, but how about your, you know, because you create these nice, pretty large projects, music projects, you got into music, creating these music videos, these short films.
Yeah.
You know?
I was raised by my showgirl grandmother who like showed me old Hollywood at its finest. And I was so blessed to be surrounded around these like iconic films that just don't exist anymore, that level of production and song and dance and set design. And you don't get that in today's movies. And that sort of has inspired my voice for my creation. Like, there's nothing more that I would enjoy than working with someone like Baz Luhrmann, because like Baz Luhrmann takes a story and makes it so fantastical and like dips you into these surreal worlds with music and heightened glamour and fantasy with like Moulin Rouge or that new movie he just put out, Elvis. And that's exactly how I like to tell my stories. It's that connection to old glamour, but it's now. It's what's right now and on the pulse of like our zeitgeist in the world, if you will. So that's my fantasy.
Well, that just came about. You always wanted to do that, or?
Well, my grandmother played for me the Barclays of Broadway, and I watched Fred Astaire dance to Putting on the Ritz, and he was tap dancing. And I said, Mama, I want to do that. And I went to tap class, and I started tapping my little feet. And my mother's a musician also. So my mother, before she went to prison, was in a rock band. And I would crawl up in her bass drum when I would fall asleep. And that rhythm was like beat into my body. So being a dancer and music has always like played a big role in my expression as a total artist. So anything I do visually, the music and the dance and the beat comes first.
Okay. And you're close with your mother?
I am now. It's been a journey. After she came out of prison, she reformed her life and works in construction, and she sort of helped make the ranch possible. But it's been a long journey. You know, when you go into prison, like the system breaks you down and sort of rewires you together. So there's a lot of things she had to unlearn, especially when it came to gender and my transition. You know. Yeah,
I was because I read that one article you had, and she invited you to. You were living on the East Coast, right? And she invited you to come to Transmecula.
Transmecula, yeah.
And you just said, yeah. I mean, did you have a relationship then, or?
Yeah, you know, she's always wanted the best for me, and I know she loves me at her core, but we've always like tangoed. But finally, I thought this was like a good gesture of like, you know, she wants me to like not be homeless, basically. I was living couch to couch, as like artists have to sometimes. And so I did. But Heidi Fleiss, her ex madam, was her ex lover from prison, was living on the ranch trying to extort the property from us. But that's for a whole other segment, and you can look it up on TMZ.
Because that's in your latest music video. And, I saw on the newspaper.
Yeah,
that was, and then I looked it up. I didn't really know who she was, honestly. Then I found she was in what's the movie, Polly?
I don't know.
She was in a movie. That's what it came up first.
Yeah.
I forget, it was a famous movie, but then I didn't know she was a madam and all that as well.
I'm a firm believer in taking your trauma and painting it and like putting it on display and making it the brightest thing you can as a visual medicine for yourself. And some people see that and take it the wrong way or think that I just want attention or whatever. But it was actually in the latest episode of White Lotus when that woman, she was being cheated on. She told one of her friends in that season basically that whatever you need to do to get over your pain, do it, because it's your trauma. It's your trauma to do what you want with it. And sometimes a girl needs to slather on some lipstick and tell her story.
And we're here.
And here we are.
So let's discuss
on Hollywood Boulevard.
Well, it's a good segue because I want to talk about Hollywood Hooker.
Yeah.
Because that was your first music release.
Yeah.
And
it was really
kind of
big.
your first project, right? Was it
First
your
music project.
project? And we're on Hollywood Boulevard, so what a good coincidence or not. How did that come about? I mean, was that 4 years ago?
Yeah, it was about 5 years ago. 6 years ago.
6 years ago. Yeah, 6
Something
years
like
ago.
that.
I know. I noticed that. It was 6 years ago. 4 years. No,
I don't know.
I
Time.
think
What
it
is
was 4.
time?
Yeah, what is time?
What is
Does it
time?
exist?
Yeah, I guess it does on this planet.
Yeah, because we keep track of it.
Maybe gravity is time. That keeps us here.
Yes.
But anyway, so my friend, I had this like art film I was making called Slather. Slather.
Yeah, Slather. Yeah, Slather.
Yeah. And he was a musician. He produced beats and the best, like iconic, like gets you by your balls, makes you want to dance kind of beats.
Mm-hmm.
And he had a couple of tracks that he didn't have lyrics on. And I was like, let me slather these up. Let me just like throw my little sprinkles on top. And we did. We came up with this like iconic line. He drinks me in like pink lemonade. You know what I like to do. Surrender to me, I'll surrender to you. Told you I'd get you off. What did she say? Slather it up. And that became the like anthem, and like queers from all over to like India, to Mexico, to Spain, to London, to Paris. All these queers were like performing my track as a drag anthem. And I didn't really intend it to be like a drag song. I'm not a drag queen, but I can be if you like. But like my femininity is not drag, but I love it. I love seeing, that's like what gives you purpose as an artist, is to see people, really identify.
Yeah, well, the music you make is showtime, like you say.
It makes you wanna
it's performance music, so I could see drag queens re-performing all your songs. Yeah, because it's kind of that showgirls, drag queen,
cinematic.
Yeah, cinematic. Yeah, and you can tell a story, a musical, whatever.
Yeah.
So I could see people re-performing and putting it in different shows and whatnot.
Totally.
But that song is cool because too, as well, the intro is completely different than the main part of the song.
Yeah, it's like two songs in one.
It's really hard, and then it becomes this really like you're in a club.
Yeah.
And getting down.
Totally.
Yeah. So I really like that.
It also has the first time I've ever heard in a song, I'm a woman now, and that's not something I'm willing to compromise. And that was like reclaiming my identity. That was like at the time I was transitioning. And so I think that's why it also resonated with a lot of queers, is because like there are a lot of femme presenting, non-binary, trans people who are like adopting their femininity or embracing it. And I think that really like helped heal a lot of people.
Were you always saying slather? Did you use that word a lot?
Yeah. So like I'm a provocateur, right? Obviously. But a lot of words like moisture and penetration that make you feel uncomfortable or make you feel something, I love, right?
But it's comedic flair.
Yeah, it's a tongue in cheek.
Yeah.
And then like I kept saying slather with my friend Elias because we were making this film. And he was like, but what does it mean? What does it mean? Slather, what does it mean? And I was working construction for my mother in like a flannel when I was like transitioning, and I had like acrylic nails on, and my mother was so embarrassed with me like showing up to work looking like half femme. I was in my uncomfortable phase, right? I didn't look as fishy as I did. So I'm working for my mother, and there's this like gray matter that you paint on pipes to seal it in for HVAC, to keep the air in. And I'm painting this gray matter on these pipes, and she turns to me and says, "Don't be afraid to slather it on thick." And I was like, that's like a metaphor for life. Like, don't be afraid to like go like with your gut and your soul at whatever you want to do in life. And you can apply that to so many things.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what do you want to slather on?
Exactly. I mean, we could slather a lot of things today,
Yeah.
right now.
What do you want to slather? Yeah. Toast and jam.
Toast and jam. We could
Or
slather
jam.
toast and jam.
Yeah.
You can go hard on that.
Yeah, let's go real hard with some bananas.
Bananas, peanut butter.
Ooh,
The stickier the better.
Coconut crunch.
Coconut.
Yeah, coconuts.
Yeah. Coco.
Yeah. These might be some silicone coconuts. Hope you don't mind.
Yeah, they're nice.
Well, I mean, you have to taste them first. You can't just say they're nice without like
Oh yeah. I mean,
experiencing them.
aesthetically nice.
Okay, good.
Yes. I mean, I hope they'd be aesthetically nice.
I know,
And I'm sure
after-
you're gonna get the best.
After hundreds of hours of surgeries
Yeah.
and dealing with doctors, I should be beautiful after that.
Yeah. I mean,
Right?
yeah,
That's
but
the
I'm
whole
sure
point.
you're. Yeah, I'm sure you are not just jumping into it either. You know.
No, it
yeah,
takes it's time.
yeah. But yes, Slather, and
Slather.
you
Slather.
you actually you have Slather. Is it Slather Productions or Slather?
Slather Studios.
So you started
a production
it's a
company.
production company called Slather
Yeah.
Studios.
We make media, we make album packaging,
Mm.
we make music videos, whatever your fantasy is, we'll slather it up.
Slather.
Slather.
And then Slather, your next music release was Sheeness.
Was Sheeness, because I
That's
also, it's a tongue in cheek,
Yeah.
you know. I didn't like the word penis. I think it's grotesque. And I wanted to reclaim it and make it feminine.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like sheeness, like a lot of, even if you're a cis woman, and cis meaning you're born in the same gender,
Mm-hmm.
even a cis woman could like reclaim their sheeness. They're like,
I was thinking like Sheeness, like I guess penis. That makes more sense now. I was like
Yeah.
thinking like Sheeness, like goddess. you know, like-
Goddess.
Yeah, that's
It's
what
like-
I didn't.
that's what
I didn't relate it with penis, honestly.
Good. You're learning.
No, I mean, no, that's what I was listening. I
Well,
didn't think it was.
That's the vibe.
Yeah,
That's
but
the
you
vibe.
told me, it was like, okay, I guess penis and Sheeness.
Right. So that's the vibe.
Yeah, that's what I
and-
was thinking. Like goddess,
Yeah.
you know, female energy,
Yeah,
femininity.
strong
Yeah.
female energy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, you know, a woman who is in touch with her backbone, who's in touch with that
Yeah,
flame.
that's what I got out of it.
Yeah, strong female.
And you use penetration in there.
I did?
Yeah.
Oh,
Right?
I don't know. Did I?
In the song?
I don't
You
know. I
remember?
don't remember.
Yeah, penetration.
We'll play it for you.
I remember penetration was.
Oh,
that's the
wow.
line I remember.
Oh, yeah.
We'll penetrate.
I don't need your validations, disapproval, reservations. I just want your penetration,
Penetration,
break
yeah.
the walls, liberation.
Yeah, I love that line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be like penetrating your mind. I just want to go deeper. I just wanna-
Yeah. But you were just
break the
mentioning the
walls.
words and whatnot.
Yes.
So. But that was probably, I think, my favorite song, like
Okay.
that I could groove to.
Okay.
Yeah, I really like it. And
Cool.
your vocal, I think everything fit very well for me.
Wow.
But, yeah.
It's my least favorite song, but I love that you like it.
Yeah, I was vibing with it.
Cool.
Yeah. And but I mean, all your music, what I like about it, and the producers you work with, they're all individual projects, but they're individual sounds.
Yeah.
You know, especially with this most current one
Yeah.
you've released,
It's more jazzy.
Hornatia. That one actually sticks in your head too. Like,
Okay, good.
Hornatia. You know?
Hot hornatia. It's giving the horny sensation. Spread eagle all over your fascia. Serving milk from these tits, lactatia. Hydration all across the nation. Fishy ass crustacea. You can't resist temptation. Open wide, come inside, fellatio.
Yeah, that's a great project.
Thank
and
you.
you got recently you were
Accepted to Cannes Film Festival.
Cannes Film Festival.
Yeah.
Everyone behind that. How did that come about?
Do you want to get behind it too?
I mean, no comment.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Hot Hornatia.
But that was produced by Sam J. Garfield. He's a fierce producer in LA. And the two goddesses that were on the track were Wow Ash Wow and Goddess Obiani. to fierce Black women, strong, unapologetic Black women who I had on that track. And it's a really horny anthem. It's very jazzy, burlesque. It's a reclamation of your truth, your power, your sexuality, your fire, your inner goddess, like you said.
Well, and that one is probably the most eclectic of your tracks. I mean, Sam did a great job with that track.
Sam's horny.
Because I love the jazz in that, the jazz influence.
Yeah.
The kind of like the house beat, you know?
I love jazz music. I was raised by like Nina Simone, Ella Fitzgerald, Aretha Franklin, like the legends. And I just love jazz. And I didn't feel it was right as a white woman. Well, I'm Iranian, actually. I'm half Iranian. But I didn't feel it was right to like, you know, use jazz music without giving props to the people who created it. So that's why I wanted to bring on Wow Ash Wow and Goddess Obiani, and we really like legitimize the track. It really feels like.
Did you meet them somewhere out, or how did you reach them to get them on this track?
Obiani I met through the performing circles in the burlesque world, and she performs with this amazing snake, and she does this dance with a snake, and she's an incredible dancer and vocalist. And Wow Ash Wow I met through a friend, a mutual friend. And they were like, you have to know this person. And I heard their music, and right off the bat, I was like, oh, this bitch is everything. So yeah, naturally we had to slather it up.
And then the visual aspect of it, was that a team or was that mostly you? What, did you have an idea?
I directed that. I produced it as well. And of course I have a team of people that help. Like I have a DP, I have a set designer, I have a choreographer, lots of dancers. So a lot of people rallied because they believe in my vision. And I'm so grateful for that blessing. But it came from the idea of like if I was a drag queen, my name would be Hornatia, and I would also be part lobster because I love seafood boil. I think I'm like the red queen, lobster queen. And I just imagine myself with like claws.
Well, you have the claws in the video, which I always thought that was hilarious. I was like, that's a great ad.
Right.
And for whatever reason, I liked it, you know.
And then I become dinner at some point. So it's also that idea of like, you know, me being on display or being edible or being like consumed by capitalism. And so it has that tongue-in-cheek vibe. And then of course, like my connection to burlesque, and it feels like a, you know, Showtime burlesque fantasy.
Yeah, it just looks like everyone was having a great time making it.
We were high the entire time. Mama grows weed on the ranch. So she had buckets of weed. And my friend Michaela was rolling joints the entire time. I think that's what her title was on the set, was just joint roller.
Oh, is it in the credits?
The credits.
I gotta look at that.
She was just rolling joints for everyone. So we were all lit. And at some point, like at 1 a.m., I had to wrangle everyone because I have the loudest voice when I want to. And I had to like, I was the most sober, obviously, but I had to snap everyone together and be like, okay, come on, quiet on set, you know, just screaming. And I really have to like, when we do these, it feels like a family. It feels like a family of people. And so when I do these, I like to give a inspirational message before we film, because I want the film to mean something for every single person. I want everyone to have a purpose or a call to action as to why they're there. We're not just creating a vanity project. So it really has that like feeling of activism like through its thread. You know.
And what was that message?
For me, it was like I wanted to reach all the trans kids out there that like don't have a community, that don't have friends, that don't have family, that, you know, are struggling to get by and struggling to find their identity. I wanted them to see this and be like, look, they're out there. Like, I need to hold on for myself and to like find my chosen family. Like, I need to hold on because this fantasy is too good. It's out there. It's real. It's tangible. And I can do it too.
Great message.
Yeah.
And then I've noticed every couple of years you are releasing a music project. Are you going to wait another 2 years or?
No. Oh my God. It's a very costly and expensive endeavor.
That was professional, obviously. You can, but well produced video. So I'm assuming it's not cheap.
No,
just for that little 7 minutes total, I think it was.
I have an album that I'm working on. So I have a lot of music in the deck, but all my producers are really busy. So I'm constantly looking for new people to work with, and I might even go to school and learn how to produce myself, honestly, because
you're creative enough.
It slows up the whole process, having to like rely on other people, you know? but it's also nice to like collaborate. Art doesn't happen in a vacuum, you know? So it's nice to work with people, but we'll see. I would love to listen. I would love to put on my album soon, but you know.
What do you like doing most? Do you like doing the visual aspect, fashion? What creative medium do you like doing?
I like when it collides. It's like that's the cherry on top for me. That's when it like all connects. Like I guess visually I see things, like I'm able to create. It's easier for me to make a visual happen. I like the challenge of music. I think making music is like putting a puzzle together and like finding the right words and melodies to like craft to make something. It takes a little bit longer. But when it all comes together and everyone's like vibing in that moment and like making cinema magic on the silver screen, and there's nothing like it. There's nothing like that feeling.
Would you like to do more of that behind the scenes then? Or do you like always?
No, I think like I'm doing this now, obviously, because I have this beautiful vessel and I'm quite more than capable. I'm a talented dancer. So like while I still have a body and I'm beautiful, like I'm going to document it for a little bit longer.
As you should.
Yeah. But at some point I want to start removing myself and creating for others. And once I tell my story and that gets out there, then I can pull back and like open my world up to other people more.
And that's kind of like what Savage Ranch is in a way?
Yeah, the Savage Ranch project. We're working on a docuseries. So hopefully if that takes off, then, you know, after I tell my story of how it came to be, then I can pull back and sort of profile the artists that come through.
Can you tell me a little bit about that? Or?
We're in the works with a docuseries. I can't really say. It's like all hush hush, but it will be showing the crazy world of me and my family and how we got to the ranch and how that came to be. And it puts all the stories together. So
yeah, this would be better than the guy that took it to Art Basel one.
Yeah, right, and exploited it.
Yeah,
exactly.
So yeah, let's talk about Savage Ranch and I guess the development to what it is now. Is it pretty much done? Like all the construction and everything? Or is it always going to have construction? Always going to expand? How many acres is that?
I feel like there's like 50 plus acres.
Yeah, I mean, I watched your couple videos of the drone.
The drone footage.
I was kind of confused because your mom lives in a different part, right? So I was kind of confused. I saw the drone. It was going over your place.
Yeah, the circus town.
Yeah, and then I saw like the big dome was most recently finished a year or so ago, and then it turned around, and then there were like
went to Mama's house.
Was that the Mama's house? And is that where
horses and the
pool, the cabanas and the artists living?
The artists live by the dome. So when you saw the dome,
okay.
That's where the dome is.
Okay, and that's where like the lockers.
Yeah, and the horny lockers and everything.
Okay, yeah, I saw that. That's a great video.
Yeah.
I mean, like all your videos, they always have the funny flair to it, but that was hilarious. The locker. That's your like kind of your advertisements.
Yeah,
right?
they're like ads.
Yeah, is it still on Peep Space?
Peer Space. You could book us up. Peer Space.
It should be Peep Space.
I know, horny. Peer Space. Airbnb. You can book us. Yeah, you can come have a fun time.
Yeah, those are great ads.
We get a lot of swingers, like horny couples.
So do you get a lot of people do Airbnb through that?
Yeah, they see the space and they're drawn to it, and then I find out they're like swinging couples that are poly, and they like definitely let you know what they're like into, and they're like moaning at the top of their lungs, hoping I hear it. You know, I'm just laughing. Yeah. So far, it hasn't been a situation I've wanted to enjoy, but I think it's funny. I love it. I honestly love it.
And then so it is an artist residency.
Yeah.
So tell me about some of the artists that are staying with you right now.
Yeah. Well, Ryan, who's right here, who did my hair today. Ryan is a gorgeous artist from Toronto. And we met on the set of one of my jazz burlesque nights called Jazz Hot. And he was doing hair for Ivy Lavon, who's an incredible singer. And she's performed with Sting. She's iconic. And he did the hair on the show. And he came out and stayed for a couple weeks. And we just been into shenanigans. He made this fun hair boot that lives in the house now. And yeah, it's just a blessing because it's a blank canvas for people to put into it what they see and what they want from it. And the hope is that people leave stuff behind for it to grow. So yeah, it's been a blessing.
How does the artist residency work?
It's sort of like you just have to DM me and be persistent and explain what you want, explain what your purpose is, what your medium is, what you want to leave behind, what dates you want to come out. It's not really formal yet. I don't have a manager that sets it up. So everything's just kind of word of mouth.
You could go that route.
Yeah. One day, hopefully, I can afford to pay someone. But until then, it's just kind of mom and pop's grassroots ground up.
I was wondering is that sometimes it works the other way where you just give them a free place to stay and they just have to create art too. Yeah. I've heard of that as well.
Well, that's the same thing. You know, I do give people like Ryan stayed there for free and, you know, he you know, they take care of their own groceries and all that kind of stuff. And we are off the grid with water. So until that well is pumping, people just have to like, you know, make sure that they don't take as much resources as they.
So do you have a well there?
We just dug a well and we've hit water. Oh, wow. Thank God.
Good. Yeah.
It's a costly endeavor.
Yeah, is it, how much is that now?
It's $50,000.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Because my dad was telling me because they always move on property and they always had to drill. And this was probably like 10 years ago. It was $30,000. So
the risk is that if you don't hit water, you have to pay another.
You still have to pay.
You still have to pay and you have to pay another. So luckily we hit water and it produces 6 gallons a minute, which is really a well producing well.
That's a good
moisture,
a pressure, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. 6 gallons a minute.
A release. It's a good release.
That's a lot. You know, huge load.
Oh, I love big loads.
Big loads.
Yeah.
Bigger the better.
Juicy.
Or does it matter?
It does. I don't judge, but you know, why not?
Yeah. I mean,
slather it up.
Slather it up. If it works.
It's a good facial.
Yeah.
Good for the skin and the tits.
Oh yeah, they got wet in Hornatia.
They sure did.
Yeah, you had to do that.
I love getting wet.
Yeah. Are you moist?
Yeah, I'm always moist.
Oh. Already slathered.
Can't be dry. Yeah, you're looking a little dry though.
Yeah, I am.
Might need to slather you up.
Maybe.
Yeah. Maybe.
Yeah.
Is that a yes or a no? It's a consensual slather. Yeah. This is.
Oh, what do you mean?
Do you want to be slathered? Yes or no?
Sure. Yes. What is slather?
Yes.
Because it could mean anything.
Yeah. Well, in this case, I'm going to dress you in a fantasy.
Okay.
Yeah, in a horny fantasy. Sponsored by Charlie by MZ. Charlie by Matthew Zink.
Okay.
He made these iconic harnesses and these horny little leopard panties. And then a custom hat that I made myself.
All right. We can.
You down?
Yeah, we can start with a harness.
Are you down, bro? Broskies?
Broskies.
Okay, let's do it. Here we go.
All right.
Is that your first time at the rodeo?
No.
Why don't you tell everyone how we met?
Well, we met at a photo shoot that I was one of the talent models at, and you were styling it.
Yeah.
And we were talking about this off the air, but I couldn't remember exactly what it was for. But you were mentioning it was an anti-smoking campaign. And
shout out to my friend Jeff.
And yeah, I mean, I don't really remember too much, honestly. I remember it was just one of those long days. And
what were you wearing? Do you remember?
I wasn't wearing much.
That's usually the case, right?
Yeah, it was a studio shoot.
Yeah,
pretty much in shirtless. I don't know if it was like underwear or not. I don't remember, but it was definitely shirtless. It was fun. It was a fun day.
Here you go. We'll start with these.
Oh, you want to do that, or should we do a harness first?
We gotta start with that because the harness goes over that.
Okay.
Yeah. You gotta commit.
Right.
You can't look back. It's showtime, baby.
All right, showtime.
What are you waiting for? The question is, how do you feel?
I'm slathered.
How do you feel? How does it feel to be all tight and right there?
I mean, just you have to get used to it. But
yeah.
No, it doesn't feel
Are
bad.
you comfortable? You good?
Yeah, I'm comfortable.
Okay, good. You look great.
I think not bad.
Giving Tarzan daddy. Yeah. On Valentine's Day.
Yeah, this is Valentine's Day. Yes, we are.
Are you my Valentine?
I guess so.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So now what?
Yeah, where were we? Well, now I'm slathered up. So this is the.
How does it feel to be a sub for once?
It's rejuvenating.
Yeah.
You gotta let go every once in a while. You gotta get out of your comfort zone.
I
right?
think so.
Yeah.
I think it's important.
I mean, yeah, we can't just stay in what we're comfortable with.
No.
You know, I mean,
We have to get uncomfortable. And then it gets comfortable.
yes.
It's the first cut is the deepest, right? You have to it always hurts the first time you put it in.
Yeah, it's like you have to get moist.
Yeah.
You have to get
More
warm
coconut
it up.
oil.
Yeah, warm it up, and then just everything just
Slides
fits,
in.
Yeah, slides right in.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you've been a bad little slut today. You haven't brought me roses or chocolates. What kind of whore do you take me for?
Not a cheap one. So I mean, that'd be a cheap gift.
What would you do?
How
How would you take me out?
would I take?
What's our first date?
First date. I'm really horrible at first dates.
What does that mean? What would you do? Give me a scenario. Give me a fantasy. Come on.
Oh, you want a fantasy?
Yeah, paint a picture.
Paint a picture. Well, I'll just rent one of those dungeons down in LA and let you tie me up
Okay.
and keep the submissive going.
Let's do it.
Slather me up.
I would love to tie you up. But let's do it at the ranch.
The ranch, yes.
Why a dungeon?
Yeah. Well,
It should be beautiful. It should be stunning.
yeah,
With velvets everywhere.
I'll just
A
more color.
jacuzzi.
Yeah, more color.
Slip into the jacuzzi afterward,
Yeah. Yes. So what goes what goes on in the dome?
The pleasure dome.
The pleasure dome.
Whatever you want to go on in the pleasure dome, darling.
What
To
has been-
choose your own adventure.
Well, you said you're gonna throw parties and.
Yes, we want to throw a big rave this summer. And so I'm partnering with a lot of weed brands.
Maybe in this before this, I guess it gets really hot there. So maybe
It's beautiful all year round.
yeah. Is it triple digits or no?
No,
Oh, okay. I thought it did.
no, that's Palm Springs. We're more inland, so it's more lush,
Okay.
more moist.
Well, it looks like it.
Temecula means where the mist meets the land. So that's why the grapes grow. It's wine country. That's why the grapes grow, because it's very moist.
Yeah, it's wine country, like you said. Yeah.
Yeah. But we're going to have a rave this summer and you're invited.
All right.
Maybe you'll DJ. Who knows?
Who knows?
And we're hoping to get Shirley Manson, and Khalees lives in Temecula too. So, we're hoping to score a major headliner. If you believe it, you can achieve it. So,
Well, you've been achieving it, so I don't think you doubt it.
all right.
Yeah.
Why not? You kind of
Is
have to
doubt
believe.
is doubt in your vocabulary?
No. You kind of have to believe your own delusion until it happens. That's a good way to just go for it.
Well, live that delusion.
Live it. Live
And
it.
then it'll eventually happen if you keep on pursuing it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just don't live a delusion.
No, just don't be delusional.
Just delusional.
I'm very self-aware of everything, but it's fun to play in a fantasy and then go after that dream with your whole being. And it becomes real.
And it has.
It has. And look
It's
at my dreams
the
come
fantasy
true.
right now.
My fantasies are right here, baby. Being surrounded by beauty, slathered and gathered. Slathered and gathered, little nuts, little chestnuts roasting in an open fire. Oh, are you winking at me?
They're winking.
Oh, damn. Yeah?
Yeah.
Are you happy to see me or something?
I'm always happy to see you.
Oh, okay. Well, it's getting a little hot in here. I think I'm going to take this dress off. Do you mind? Yeah. I have some layers.
Okay. Yeah. Not nude.
No. We'll save that for later.
All right.
What kind of whore do you think I am? I look better with expensive lingerie on. Can we do it?
Yeah, you want to, well,
Now that we're both in our knickers.
yeah. I mean, what else did you want to?
What else did you want from me, baby?
Well, I mean,
That's it. That's the
oh,
fantasy.
That's a fantasy. We're in the fantasy right now.
Yeah.
This is Love Bailey fantasy.
Yeah, welcome to the fantasy, y'all. Slather it up.
Lather it up. So, I mean, I was
What?
not, I'm slathered.
Yeah, you love it. Wait, I have to give you some glasses. A little touch of pink. Why not? Yes. That's a mood.
So what else from Love Bailey? Like what can we expect?
What's next?
Yeah, what's next? Do you have anything on?
On the pipeline?
Yes.
Yes, I have a whole album I'm working on. I have that docu-series with The Ranch. We have a rave we're producing. We've got a lot in the pipeline. Artists that I'm constantly hosting on my ranch. It's a full-time job for 3 people. You know, one woman show over here, just nuts and bolts and granola crunch.
And you're doing it like you said, like I read in the article you were saying, you know, you never did construction.
Yeah.
You got your hands dirty
with duct tape and E6000. We're making it happen.
Yeah, right.
Some rhinestone glue.
Yes. So
and Savage Fenty underwear.
How would people be able to contact you, find you, reach out to you?
You're such a good host. Instagram, Love is Bailey, or Savage Ranch. On YouTube, it's Slather Studios. And just reach out. My Instagram or my website is lovebailey.com. The Savage Ranch is at www.savageranch.us. You can stream my music on all the platforms, Spotify, YouTube, iTunes, everything. So
yeah, go watch Hornatia and everything else.
Tune in, baby. Yeah.
All right.
Is that all, folks?
As long as, if you want to say that's all, we'll just say thank you.
Yeah. Tune in later, baby.
Tune in. Thank you, Love Bailey.
Yeah. Thank you, Z. Oh, it's really warm in this lap.
Yes.
Tasty Tuesdays! Thanking you for your time this time. Until next time, we'll see you again next week, same time, same channel.